I want to start by asking you one question, because I was doing some digging on Twitter, and I found out that you actually quit your job in I think it was like late 2022, early 2023, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So did you plan on being like a maker before quitting, or it was something that you were stressed about your job and you were like, okay, I'm going to quit and then I'm going to figure it out, or you had already like a plan?
Um, yeah, so I always had this dream, I think, to become a maker. So I was always like
Mm,
admiring every product on Product Hunt and checking out posts and episodes on Indie Hackers. But I never had the
mm,
feeling that I had the skills to do it. But yeah, I really admired those people. Um, and then I discovered no code. So yeah, the tools that you can use to build products yourself without having the knowledge to write code. And that opened up a new world for me. I still am just a beginner no coder. I think there are so many people that are doing much more cool and advanced stuff, but it really gave me the confidence, like to
mm,
stop thinking that I can't do it and just start doing making some things.
yeah.
And with that, I did a no code bootcamp, the 100 days of no code
Yep.
bootcamp, and there I also connected with a lot of people that were the same like me, which was an amazing feeling because they were also
Mm,
geeking out about digital tools and dreaming of the same things. And yeah, I love my friends, but they don't understand that they don't have the same interest as me. So that was really a great feeling that yeah, I finally discovered people that
mm,
were a little bit like me, and that gave was another confidence boost. Like instead of just watching and lurking all the time on Twitter or on Indie Hackers, I started to yeah, write a little bit about things I was doing and slowly started building. Yeah, I wouldn't call it an audience, but um, yeah, have some friends online and
mhm.
connect with some people who were doing the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's super cool, because I think most of us like struggle with that in the maybe in our close circle. There is not that many people that do that, like in our regular work or like our family or our friends.
yeah,
And when you go online, that's when it happens, right? When you go online and you start following people that talk about this kind of stuff, and like you start talking about it, that's when you start to find that
yeah,
circle, and when you start to get inspired too, right? Because that's what I did with like Steel Club and all of that. Like I was super interested in like content creation and all of that, but I didn't find anyone in my circle that did it. So I was like, okay, I need to go into the internet and try to pick things that everyone is doing and just like try to do it myself, but also like talk to them and everything. So I think that's pretty cool that you did that, and it obviously worked
yeah,
out because you ended up quitting your job
yeah,
because
yeah.
of it. So that's pretty cool. I would say that, do you have like any regrets on the way that you did it? So if you were now with everything that you know, would you have done it like a bit differently? Would you have kept your job for a while, or you know?
I was able to do it in some steps because I
Mm.
was on parental leave.
Okay.
I had a baby, so I was home for a while. So that gave me some free time to work
Okay.
on side projects. Not a lot, but a little bit more than when I was working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then when I eventually quit my job, this was February 2023. I already um, had my newsletter on the site, which was already making some money. And I was also doing some freelancing to, yeah, extend the
Okay.
runway.
Yeah.
And now, this January, I'm also stopped freelancing, not
Mm.
because I'm making loads of money, but just to see. I have a little buffer now.
Yeah.
Just to see if I can take my own projects a little bit further. Then yeah, always
Yeah.
yeah. That was a challenge for me. I was freelancing. I had like 20 side project ideas that I wanted to build, and you are doing everything a little bit. And not everything 100%. So now I want
Mm.
to maybe 6 months, 8 months, try to just focus on my own projects, and then we will see if I go back to freelancing or maybe
Mm.
do a few freelance gigs. But
Yeah.
so really fun at the moment, just working on my own
No,
things.
that's super cool, because I think that's the other thing that some people don't, or maybe people who haven't done it yet, like being a creator or maker, understand is like the best way to do it, in my opinion, in the first year or so, is like to do it while you freelance, because freelancing gives you like a bit of an income, and then you can
Yeah,
spend the
yeah,
rest of your time. But at the same time, it comes to a point, and this happened to me too, where it's like, okay, you have this side project, and your focus is like between two or three things, and quitting freelancing is like, okay, I'm going all in on this. So
yeah, yeah,
it's super cool that you did it. So can you tell us a
yeah,
bit like what's exactly the project that you are like all in right now? I mean, I know what it is, but the audience maybe
yeah,
doesn't. So
yeah.
what is that?
So my newsletter is No Code Exits, and it all started with when I was doing that No Code Bootcamp. The goal was
Mhm.
that you had to build a first project, an MVP, that you launched to the world. And I built a no code tool advisor that you can tell him which features your app needs, and it will tell you which
Mhm.
is the best no code tool.
Cool.
It was just something fun, nothing very complicated, but I didn't earn any money with it. But it looked nice. It was before ChatGPT, so it was cool that you could
Mm.
chat with it and it gave you advice. And eventually, I ended up selling that on
Mhm.
acquire.com,
Nice.
which was uh, as a first time maker, this was a whoa huge
Yeah.
milestone. It was just for 3.5 k, so not a lot, not life
Mhm.
changing, but still that people were
Yeah.
seeing value in something I built. That was like a huge motivation boost.
Yeah.
So I tweeted about that. I didn't have
Mhm.
that many followers back then, but that tweet went kind of viral. Like it really took off. People were like, "Whoa, that's amazing!" and a lot of questions about it. And
Mm.
I thought, here that's maybe a cool idea for a newsletter to write about something like that. So in
Yeah.
I think in 30 minutes, I created a Substack page. I took a logo from flaticon.com and I did another tweet like, hey, I'm starting this new newsletter about people, their no code projects that got acquired. Subscribe
Mhm.
here. And I don't know exactly the number, but I think 24 hours later, I had around 300 subscribers.
Wow. Wow.
So that was for me, okay, this is a good idea. I have to write this. And then I started with my own story about how I built it, how it was acquired, how I grew it, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I sent it, and then I left on holiday for 3 weeks. And then when I came back, I almost had, was it, I think almost 1,000 subscribers. So
Wow. That's crazy.
that went
Wow.
really fast. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think there is a few things here that are super cool. So the first one is that you sold your project, which is super cool, but then you got to share it on internet, or like on Twitter in this case, and you saw like the opportunity for a new thing, right? Because when people were like, "Oh, congratulations," like how did you do it? Like, I guess like everyone was asking those questions, and we're like, hey,
yeah,
if so many people are asking this one question, the same one, is like, how did you do this? It's
yeah,
like, there is something here. So I think it's super cool that you got that idea and you acted super fast on it, right? Because you said it was like 30 minutes, you put together the landing page and everything. And
yeah, yeah.
where did you make the announcement? Was it like under the viral tweet, or did you do like another tweet?
I think
Just to
I did
understand.
both. I think I did both.
Okay.
Yeah, that I answered on the viral tweet, but also did a new one.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
and normally I'm really someone who overthinks everything and like I don't
Yeah.
know, create a landing page and work on the landing page for a week, so stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it really paid off. I think that I went that
Mm.
fast.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so too.
yeah,
That's super cool. Like that you got to start like that, and so now basically you are now sharing stories from other people who have done something
Yeah.
similar to you, like
Yeah.
selling their no code products and
Yeah.
everything.
And
So
next to the acquisition stories, I also do now just stories of people that run profitable products made with no code, because
okay, cool.
I learned from my users that they just love to learn about success stories in no code. Yeah.
Cool. And right now it's close, or I think it passed already like 10K subscribers, right? So you are
Yeah.
now
Yeah. So
10K
yeah.
in what, like a year and a half, something like that?
I started it in August 2022.
Okay, so
Yeah.
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 Okay, but no, still that's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's your main project right now, and you are focusing on that. So I'm curious to learn a bit like about the thinking, because I've read that you're also doing like building public updates. I don't know how to call it, like transparency updates every month, right? You are like writing like what you did this month and what you learned and what went right
Yeah.
and what went wrong, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I read something that you're now focusing on building other revenue streams, because I understand the main one is sponsorships, which is the usual first revenue stream for a newsletter. It's like the easiest one to like,
Yeah.
okay, let's do sponsorships. But okay, what do you have in mind, if you can share a bit of like
Yeah.
what's the thinking, because now you are all in, now you need to make more money, obviously, because this is
Yeah.
the only thing. So what's the
Oh.
process there?
Yeah, so maybe good to know is that I first started with some small info products, one
Okay,
about
cool.
finding business ideas, and one about kind of a no-code maker guidebook. I think they both are $25, and I just advertise them in my footer, very very subtle.
Yeah.
This doesn't make huge money, but it's yeah, 100 or $200 per month. Then I started with advertisements. I started at $50 for one ad, a classified ad. And I found the sponsors mainly through Twitter by just saying, hey, someone wants to sponsor my newsletter.
That's cool.
Yeah, that worked well. And yeah, now I'm trying to have some more revenue streams. One of them is that it's used to be a newsletter, the classic newsletter website. So just one page with the email capture and some testimonials, and that was it. But now I really opened it up. So when you go to the website, you can still subscribe, but then you see no-code tools I recommend, all the previous stories, so that you can really easily read
Okay. Yeah.
previous stories and filter on them and stuff like that. And yeah, some recommendation on courses and stuff like that. And the idea there is that if I close a partnership with a company, a no-code company, that they don't only have visibility in the newsletter for one time when you send it out, but that it can be something for a full year visibility, or
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully even longer. So
Yeah.
I created a package around that. So for more the multi-channel approach.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's pretty
Yeah,
smart.
yeah,
I-
yeah. And instead of just charging $50, or it's a little bit more now, for one ad, you can charge more, of course. But yeah, it's it already worked 2 times, but I really have to reach out more to
yeah.
companies and then have calls, and it's not that as easy as the here is a Stripe link to a $50 payment. It needs
Yeah,
you need to
obviously.
build a relationship, and then do a sales pitch and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm already happy that it paid off a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the first one, and then the second one I'm working on is having more more course around no code, because now I always advertise other courses, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
maybe I should make my own.
Maybe yes.
But yeah, but yeah, I to be honest, I'm really not a good course maker because it takes me so long,
Yeah.
and yeah, I really have trouble on focusing on that, so it's going slow, to be honest. But I will get there eventually. But the idea is that I will create these no-code playbooks, so that there is really a very specific course for a very specific use case. So
Yeah.
and that it guides the customer step by step, from research until to building to marketing, through a no-code use case. So it's fun to make, but yeah, it takes time, and yeah, I get distracted easily.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
I
that are
understand
my
that.
main two things. Yeah, and I hope to, I'm starting now with one playbook, but I hope to create a collection, and that it can, that you can sell it as a package for a higher price point, and than just, and my current info product is $25. I hope to,
Yeah.
to earn some
It needs
more
to be
money with it.
higher. Yeah,
Yeah,
it needs to be higher. It needs to be higher.
yeah,
I think that's pretty cool because the other thing the thing that I see here is that there is like a pretty good link between your usual content and what the paid products will be. So you
yeah,
share, okay, this is like a no code success story. If you want to learn how to do the same, here's
yeah,
the playbook,
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
pretty easy
yeah,
to teach, right?
yeah,
So I think that's like a good thing that
yeah.
you're doing in like
Yeah,
a
and I'm
smart thing.
really, and that's why it takes me so much time. I'm really curating the info from founders who already did it. So the one I'm working on right now is a job board, and for the
Okay.
marketing tactics, I really dive deep into
Mm,
interviews and blog posts about how they grew their job board and all the things that worked. And
yeah.
I list it in the playbook I'm creating. Um, so
Hmm.
because building is the easy part,
Yeah.
and the marketing is often the most challenging. So that's why I want to offer this complete package.
Yeah, that's true because I think most of us, like not me personally, but like I know a lot of market makers, and they are good at making, but they are not good at talking about the thing that they are making.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's a common struggle. So maybe like no code marketing something, that's like a interesting
yeah,
area
yeah,
too because a lot of us struggle with that.
yeah, yeah. Indeed.
Um,
I hope it will
No, no. I
resonate.
think I think it's a really good idea. So okay, you're working on that, and I guess that's your focus now. Do you have like anything else? Like, what's the ideal thing that you would love to do in the future? Like, do you have like any? Oh, I would like to like a cohort course, or I would just like like to get paid to write about no code, and that's it. What's that ideal
Um,
future?
yeah, there are two things. The next thing I want to do is, my newsletter is now on Substack, which I really
Mm,
love. I think it's simple, it's free, and
yeah.
they have a pretty great recommendation network. So
Mm,
I
yeah.
really, it really helps me to grow. Um, the only thing is I have all these amazing articles, but they are not really optimized for SEO,
Okay.
because,
Yeah.
and Substack is also not that SEO friendly. So it would make sense, I think, that I move all my articles to a more SEO friendly
Yeah.
website or platform, so that I get this juicy organic traffic
Yeah.
that everyone is dreaming about.
The holy
Um,
grail.
yeah. So that I'm not also only dependent on people that read my newsletter, but also just from people landing on my website wanting to learn about no code. Um,
Mm, got
so
it.
that's one of the next steps, but I try to focus on the course now because
Yeah.
yeah, that I would love to work on the migrating platforms. That sounds like more fun, but first I have to make sure I have this revenue stream
Mhm.
ready. Um,
Yeah.
and then a second one, this was actually a shiny object, but it's also a good fit with my newsletter. Is together with Lee and an internet friend, I
Mhm.
created build a keyword, and it's
Yeah.
a tool that helps you find untapped keywords that you can build a product around. Um,
Yeah.
so instead of following the classic route of oh, I think this is a great idea. I build it and then you launch it and no one is really waiting for it, which I experienced like hundreds of times. So
Yeah.
classic mistake, I think. We now help people to find a keyword that has decent volume, low competition, so that it's easy to rank on the first page of Google, and enough daughter keywords so that you rank for multiple keywords instead of just one. And yeah, we created a tool around this to help you find ideas like that. And yeah, that's been going pretty good because it started just like oh, this is fun, let's do this. And it's going great. So now I'm also working on that a lot.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it, and I'm a customer. Actually, I bought like I think one of the lifetime like early things, or like
Nice, thank you.
so it's pretty cool. But at the same time, it's the worst nightmare for like shiny object
Yeah,
for people like us who are like always thinking about
yeah,
what should I build next. It's the
yeah,
worst because you get ideas and I'm like, oh shit, now I need to build this.
yeah.
But,
Indeed,
but
it's yeah.
but it's super
There's so
cool,
much
and I
potential. Yeah,
yeah, definitely. And I think it fits super well with your newsletter theme,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
So how do you see it like fitting into that ecosystem? Is this just like one? So what's like, how do you think about it? You know, because for example, for me, for the Steel Club, is like, okay, there is the Steel Club. And then now I have this podcast, which is like under that umbrella, you know, like how do you
Yeah.
feel about like these new projects that you are building?
I see it as two separate products.
Mm,
So you have the newsletter, you have the product, but I see my newsletter as a way of distribution.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
any other tool would pay me to get some visibility to with my readers. I can also give my tool some visibility in my newsletter.
Yeah.
And especially because it is the same niche, I think. So people that are interested in building their own products. So
Mm,
there is a good fit, I think.
yeah. Yeah.
And what maybe also interesting is that we are planning to also start a newsletter for Build the Keyword because
Nice.
um, we want
Yeah.
to catch users that are maybe not really convinced yet to upgrade. So we are thinking of including an email capture on our website, and then
Mm,
share maybe 3 cool keywords every week, with
that's
some
cool.
subtle promotion to our tool, of course. But yeah,
Yeah.
try to add value without promoting too much. But I think that could work. So
Mhm.
it will be a fun experiment.
Yeah, yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want, so okay, you have 10,000 subscribers right now. This build a keyword product. Obviously, you have your Twitter audience, but now you launch this product. So if I'm someone that launches something for new, you know, like I have this idea, I found the keyword via build a keyword, you know, I build a product, I build a landing page. What's the next steps? You know, what would you do to launch it? Because I know like there is product hunt, there is like a few things that you can do. So what's like
Yeah.
your process to launch something new?
Um, yeah, if you really want to do it in build the keyword style, then the first step is to make sure that the keyword that you find is implemented everywhere for your website.
Mm,
So in the H1, in the
yeah.
description, in the meta title, meta description, in the alt text of your image, and
Mm,
in the URL when you're creating specific pages. Then the second step is indeed launch it so that you can get some backlinks, because backlinks prove to Google people find this site interesting, so I will rank it higher.
yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, launching is indeed, product hunt is probably the most valuable backlink you can get.
Mm,
But also building in public, so people see what you're making and maybe share it again for you somewhere. Trying to post it on Reddit, which is always quite challenging.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually.
but yeah, the you just have to keep trying until one time you can go viral. Posting it on Hacker News also there. It's keep trying until one of your posts gets some views. Yeah, I think the most valuable is by hanging out in communities where your users are, where your potential users are, and
Yeah.
don't spam them all the time, but just be helpful, be active,
Yeah.
and when it's relevant, share your product. And when you're active in a community, after a while, people get to know you, and they will start sharing your tool when relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also important, if you do the build a keyword method, is that you keep your product for free, or at least a part of it for free. So
Yes.
that when people land on your website, they're like, oh, this is interesting, and they start they spend time on your website instead of just, oh, I have to pay, and they bounce and never return. If you
Yeah.
keep it interesting, they will spend time on your website, and they will probably also be more likely to share it with others.
Yeah. So give a
Yeah,
bit of the value for free, like upfront, but then
yeah,
if they want more, then leave an
yeah,
email or like pay whatever.
yeah, yeah,
That's something that we talk about a bit. Like my last interview before this was with Dan Kulkov. I'm sure you know
yeah,
him, and
yeah,
he's like the side project marketing
yeah.
master.
He's a very good example. Yeah,
And he does very good this exact thing is like, okay, you gave a little taste of the tool, how it works, the value that you can get. If you want
yeah,
more, then pay $50 or whatever it is. And
yeah,
that's it. So I think that's a pretty smart way to do it, because sometimes that happens. You find a cool tool or something like that, but to try it you need to put your email and all that, and people are like,
yeah.
too much friction, and then they leave the
Yeah,
page
and then
because
they leave,
it's
and
like
you never see them again. Yeah, yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Have you I was looking at how you are promoting the tool the other day, and I found, I think this was like 2 days ago, something like. I found a tweet, and you said like, share your topic of interest, and I will share a business idea,
Oh,
that
yeah,
will bring you customers. And you basically just like use the tool to do that. So that's another
yeah,
pretty good case of like bringing value first. Like, okay, this is what you get with this tool. I think you got like 20 something replies or even more. So that's pretty cool.
yeah.
That's like people.
That one did pretty good. Yeah, I think it got
Yeah.
8,000 views, so
Wow. Yeah.
that's good, and a few sales too. So
Yeah, that was
yeah,
what
just
I was
yeah.
going to ask, if it translated into like some sales.
I think we got that day 4 sales, so
Well, that's
that's
good.
nice. I think,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's just experimenting to see what works, and yeah, how we can keep this consistent
Hmm.
traffic, because we had our product hunt launch, which was good. We were product number one,
Oh wow,
um,
cool.
but the challenge then starts to keep
To keep the momentum.
getting
Yeah.
visibility and momentum. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of experimenting there. So that's also why my course is going slower now.
Yeah. Good. You're also learning like other things and
Yeah,
trying.
yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. This is also the first time for me that I have this kind of product. I have my newsletter, which was doing well, but this is really the first time that I have like this more like software tool
yeah.
that is
Yeah.
doing well. So I'm learning a lot about onboarding and
Mhm.
email drip flows and stuff like that. So it's really fun. I like it.
It's cool that you do things like this, because the only way to learn, I mean, you can read about it so much and you can watch
Yeah,
videos, but the only way you learn is like when you
yeah,
get in there and you need to write an email sequence, and one email doesn't go out as it should, or you spam everyone, and it's like, oh
yeah,
shit, what did I do?
yeah,
So that kind of stuff, I think that's the best
yeah,
school that you
indeed.
can have. So
Yeah,
uh, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Cool. So to wrap it up, because we're already like 30 minutes in, um, since you are like studying so much, like successful no code builders and so on, have you been able to identify like a few traits that you say, okay, or feel like things in common, that okay, all of the products have like this thing in common, like, without spoiling too much, because this will be on the playbooks obviously, and people need to buy those.
um,
What's that thing?
I think it's important to start small and really
Mm,
find find a very specific niche. So don't try to build a screenshot tool for everyone, but maybe build the best screenshot tool for social media managers or something like that.
Yeah.
Because then it's so much easier to stand out from the competition. And on the other side, you know that there is already kind of a validated ID because people are making money with screenshot tools. And you're not
Yeah.
reinventing the wheel or something like that. So I think you don't have to find these rocket science ideas. It can be just an existing product that you give a cool swing so that it's for a different market, or maybe a different pricing strategy, and start small. Don't start with 100 features, but with one, and focus on fixing the core problem,
Mhm.
and go from there.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice because it's easy to get like, and I want to build this tool. I will do it is all of these things,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just
yeah,
do one thing, do it well, and then you can
yeah,
expand. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
uh, I
indeed.
I
Yeah,
I think that's really good. That's really good
yeah,
advice and something that I've seen firsthand because I work with the guys at Twig Hunter and Taplio, and Twig Hunter actually started with being, I mean, it's not a no-code tool, but the principle is the same.
yeah,
It started with being like a search tool for tweets, but then it
yeah.
evolved into like scheduling a lot.
And then it
First
goes
it was this
more and
thing,
more. Yeah, yeah,
and then it got more and more as people were asking like, okay, can I publish tweets with this, blah blah, so
yeah,
um yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So I have like the last thing is like, where can people find more about you? I mean, we already talked about all of your projects and everything, but where can people find you if they want to look what you do?
So I'm very active on Twitter. So that's Katt Rinsen, KATTRISEN.
Cool.
And my projects are buildkeyword.com and nocodeexits.com. And always
Awesome.
happy to talk to like-minded souls.
Yeah, super cool. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for being on the podcast, and yeah, see everyone
Thank
on the
you,
next one.
Alex. Thank you for creating this great podcast.
Thank you. Okay, bye bye.
Bye.